Here we've had to sue the Justice Department, who is the chief law enforcement agency of the United States federal government, who refuses to follow federal FOIA law. One of the worst violators of FOIA is the Justice Department. I've talked often about special counsels, and I think special counsels are of dubious nature, or of dubious constitutionality, especially if they're being used to investigate presidents. That being said, that argument I tried to make during the Trump administration, but we were told special counsels were the most important thing in the world, and we needed it. And they appointed one against Trump. Now we have a special counsel that was appointed by, I think, I know by Attorney General Barr, who's continuing to investigate the targeting of Trump. He's had 3 indictments over 3 years. 1 indictment which ended in a plea agreement that was kind of a disaster. 2 more indictments which were quite substantial, one of Hillary Clinton's lawyer and the other of Hillary Clinton's agent who was working for her campaign, a Russian agent, who was working for her campaign and helping concoct the fake dossier smear against Trump. Now, one of the things we're interested in is how the Garland Justice Department is dealing with the Durham Special Counsel. The Durham Special Counsel obviously can't, it seems to me it would be obvious, probably doesn't have too many friends in the Biden Justice Department. So that's why we sued, or we asked for records of communications, including emails and text messages, between Special Counsel Durham and Attorney General Merrick Garland. One of the reasons we're asking about this is because senators have raised concerns, quite sensibly, about whether the Justice Department was in potential conflict with the Durham investigation because, for instance, there's a senior Justice Department official, Susan Hennessy, had previously made statements attacking the Durham investigation directly. I think she runs the National Security Division at the Justice Department. Maybe one of my colleagues can fact check me to make sure that's correct as I'm talking here. She had said in December 2021, or actually the senator said in December 2021, they pointed out some material that she had tweeted out, like, for instance, Durham has made abundantly clear that in a year and a half he hasn't come up with anything, which is kind of true. I guess this kind of partisan silliness had become a characteristic of Barr's legacy, but unclear to me why Durham would want to go along with it. So Durham's investigation, as I said, began in April or May of 2019. He was appointed as special counsel in October 2020. And he's only had 3 prosecutions. So I'm excited about some of the more recent disclosures he's made in his indictments and court filings, but it is mighty slow. So that's one of the reasons we're asking for his budget. We want budget records related to the operations of the Office of Special Counsel, John Durham. We have a right to that information, and they've been slow walking the information. And I don't understand why it takes a federal lawsuit to get basic information and simple requests answered, such as how many emails and texts could there be between Garland and Durham? Either there are some, or there's probably a few. If there's not a few, maybe there's none. Just tell us, and tell us where you searched to make sure that you did a fair search. And how many budget records are there? There can't be that many. Just give them to us. And here we've had to sue the Justice Department, who is the chief law enforcement agency of the United States federal government, who refuses to follow federal FOIA law. One of the worst violators of FOIA is the Justice Department. Not because they're less transparent than other agencies, they're just as bad as other agencies, more or less, but because they've got this particular obligation to enforce the rule of law, and they don't want to when it comes to their own operations, which includes the FBI, by the way. So everyone should be held accountable. Garland should be held accountable. Durham should be held accountable. I want him to move faster. What has he been spending his money on? As I said, 2 prosecutions since he's special counsel, or 3. We have a right to know. It's our money. And I suspect that Judicial Watch has done with far less. We have gotten more information about what the Obama Gate operation was all about in terms of the targeting of Donald Trump, the worst corruption scandal in American history, than Durham has thus far. So we'll see what they give us. But, you know, we have a right to get basic information about what Durham's up to. Don't you agree? And that means getting budget information. And if Garland is messing with Durham, we want to know that too.
Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch all the latest news from Judicial Watch.